Welcome back to Swiss Money Radio. I'm your host, LJ Shepard. We're sitting here live, WDRB Media, the voice of the community, doing big things. I got Jarvis Bean with me. He's with U.S. Health Advisor, and we're talking a little bit of health insurance. Now, going to continue our conversation, I know there's a lot of myths out there, especially when it comes to the Black community, when it comes to health. What is your typical client, one, that you look for? And also, when should somebody start talking about, well, what age should individuals start thinking about health insurance before maybe it's too late?
Absolutely. Well, my typical client, I specialize in individual healthcare with with independent contractors and self-employed individuals, small business owners, and which when we first started talking about this, you sent me that video. And I know WDRB, you guys have a lot of connection with small business owners.
Correct.
Which I thought this would be a great opportunity to talk about it. So anyone who doesn't get insurance through their job and makes too much money to get a subsidy from Obamacare, those are my people. Truck drivers, realtors, brokers. If you own a restaurant. Anybody like that, also laborers, because we have great accident insurance. And so if you, build stuff, construction workers, 1099, anyone that's 1099 or a small business owner.
Okay.
And like I said, I used to be a truck driver, so I know what they need, I know what they like, and we have a lot of very specific employee benefits, and that comes in our benefit package that's very affordable. It's like between like $29.99 and $89.99. I got the $89.99 one for my family, and it comes in a lot, very handy. But one of the things that's special about our coverage, specifically for truck drivers, is we have like a travel assistance. If you because I've been in the mountains of West Virginia in the winter. And wondered, what if I get in a wreck here? How long is it going to take for an ambulance to get here and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
This benefit will pay $100,000 to airlift you to a suitable place, a suitable hospital, or it'll be up to $100,000, obviously.
Okay.
Or it will lift your family to you if you get to the hospital first.
Okay.
And that's great for truck drivers, particularly because I used to be over the road. Yeah, I've been in Maine. Or daggone Washington State, and my family's in North Carolina. So those things come in handy for them. But anyone who doesn't get insurance through their job and makes too much money to get a subsidy on Obamacare, those are my people.
And what age should people start thinking about that? Because I know the older generation is probably already thinking about that.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the younger generation.
Yeah.
Where should you start thinking about it?
A lot of people like to, ride until the brakes fall off or the wheels fall off or whatever. You can't do that with your body. You need to get that taken care of, while you're healthy, as soon as you can afford it, I'd say. I've helped people in college. My sister-in-law now is a great candidate for the program because she's 27. Okay. And I've helped someone as young as 21.
Okay.
We can do anybody over 18, but you also have to be able to keep up with the premium. People change
Correct.
So much. So to answer your question, I'd say if you can do it between 25 and 30, that's prime time because you're healthy, you're established a little bit. You can keep up with the premiums and everything because if you don't do it, it's not the same thing. It's not paying your cell phone bill, but because you need to be able to keep it going because that's the coverage that you don't want to lapse.
And what is you said, what is the premium? Because I know it's life insurance.
Right.
The younger you are, the younger you are, the smaller the premium.
Exactly.
Now, is that the same way for health insurance? Is that the same direction? The younger you are, is the premium something affordable that they could continue with on an everyday basis? Would just go into that direction.
Yeah, for people, let me first clarify that when I say between 25 and 30, I'm helping someone now that's 45, and he's also a great candidate for it too. It spans a long time, but there's also people who are 45, 47 who've had strokes, and you if you could do it before then, absolutely do that. You know what I mean? So the younger the better, as long as you can keep up with it. But as long as you're younger than 64 and a half, we can look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Just what's the premium price like in
right, okay.
like in life insurance? The younger you are,
Yeah.
the cheaper the price. Now, is that the same with health insurance?
It is the same with health insurance, with the health insurance that I provide. Now, the Obamacare is based on income, and your health doesn't so much matter. It might matter with age. I think it does matter with age, but your health doesn't so much matter. But with ours, if you're young and healthy, you have to be within a certain height and weight limit, that type thing. You can't have any recent strokes or heart attacks or things like that. But age, height, weight, and that's really about it. That's how the premium is set. And then other factors have to do with whether or not you can get qualified. And we have different programs that, like in South Carolina, you can get on no matter what you have. In North Carolina, it's a little bit more. A little bit harder to get through, but still great coverage. But the premium is lower for people and who are small business owners. It's not a group plan, so you don't get that discount. But for people in this situation, it's great because you're getting that I'm healthy discount.
Okay.
And there you go.
So what made you said you have 2 licenses, North Carolina and Alabama.
Yeah.
How did you skip a couple of states?
I skipped a couple of states. Well, I did North Carolina first because that's where I'm at now. I wanted to get established here, but I got people calling me from Alabama because that's where I'm from.
Oh, okay.
I was, I lived in Birmingham, Alabama until I graduated. In Alabama until I graduated college. Moved to Georgia, moved back to Alabama, then moved to North Carolina, and so it's just like I said, it's not all about. It's not just about making money. It's all about helping people. And how can I not try to help the people I grew up with?
That kind of makes sense. Because you that kind of threw me off. Like he got the 2 kind of states that's kind of separated, but South Carolina is right here.
Yeah, I'm gonna do South Carolina next. It's like there's a lot of specifics that go into each state, and I don't want to. I could do 10 states at once if I wanted to, but you got to keep up with all that, and I don't want to tell somebody something wrong.
So each state has their different laws and rules for when it comes to health insurance.
Particularly for what I'm doing. Yeah, we're all over the country. I'm not quite sure how many states we're in, but yeah, there's certain things, like for instance, I can't offer vision vision insurance in North Carolina, but I can do it in Alabama. Little things like that. So.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, you're listening, you're tuned into Swiss Money Radio, and we're just having a conversation about health insurance because it is very important. The way the climate of the world right now, and talking about health insurance, I think that should be on the top of everybody's mind.
Absolutely.
When it comes to Black America, we do things. Some of the statistics that I found out, one of the reasons why I lost a bunch of weight is I had a best friend and he died at 37.
Man.
And I lost 120 pounds right after that. So the reason why my mind is on health all the time or think about health all the time is because of that factor.
Yeah.
So I know I saw a statistic out, I want to say some months ago, Black American is number 1 in all fatal disease except for one, and that's skin cancer.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was pretty interesting when I saw that.
Yeah.
So when you're out there and when you're talking to people, how do you make them comfortable to know I need health insurance? Because this is not something that people are going to say, oh, I need this right now. It's not the TV.
Yeah, right.
It's not the sneakers. It's not the car.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I could get by without it. So what do you say to individuals when you're across the kitchen table to say, listen, you're going to need this, and this is the reason why?
Yeah, man, I try to instill a sense of urgency into people without coming off as pushy because, there's people who, they'll run the other way if you tell them you're an insurance agent. But like I said, I just try to instill a sense of urgency, like get it in while you can. Some people, they tend to push back if you make it feel like the sky can fall eventually. They don't like having conversations about catastrophic accidents and things like that. Even though I've driven, like I said, this whole country, and I've seen 18-wheelers over on their top, and I'm thinking, how did this guy even if he survived, how did he even get out?
Yeah.
And I would have liked to have offered that guy some insurance, if I had had the chance. People don't like to have those conversations, but they do happen. And so I tend to hone in on the person. I try to get a little idea of their story, what's important to them. Some people, most important thing is their kid. Some people, most important thing is, I just want to set this on autopilot, and I don't want to have to worry about it. I just want it there if I need it. It's just all about the person. And
when I used to sell life insurance at one time, and going over and sitting down with people at the kitchen table. And one of the reasons why I got out of life insurance, because I had to talk about death every single day.
Yeah.
And when you talk about death every single day, it takes a toll on you.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. You could do insurance business, life insurance, but it takes a toll on you. And my stomach, after a while, it's just that negative feeling. Now, with health insurance, I know it's different, but do you have that same? Does it has that same feeling with you when you're across the kitchen table and always talking about somebody's health on that matter that it could lead to death?
No, honestly, I talk about my personal stories. There's two that stand out, and I always have to decide which one I want to talk about. But I tell them my personal story, which was, I was in Atlanta, and it was like 1:00 at night. I'm in my truck, and it's like you can only drive so far before you have to park. And if you keep driving beyond that point, after like 11 hours, if you keep driving beyond that point, it's illegal. So you just park somewhere, And so I ended up in Atlanta in the middle of nowhere. And some woman's knocking on my door, and I'm thinking it's a street worker, sex worker basically. And I'm like, I don't want any company, whatever. She's like, can you please come out? And I just want to talk or whatever. So against my better judgment, I did that. I talked to her. She said I reminded of her dad, So she's really nice, homeless woman, really sweet or whatever. And then like halfway through the conversation, she just kind of out of nowhere said, "Can I have a hug?" And I'm like, I kind of don't want to, but. So she just, spilling her life story. I was like, okay, let's do it. So I gave her a hug, and as I back away, I realized this guy is coming around from the back of my truck in the dark, and she's like, okay, I gotta go. And so she runs off into the night with this guy. And the way it all happened, I'm like, where did this guy come from? He looked a little sinister, and it made me feel like she saved my life just by hugging me.
Yeah.
And in those little moments, you don't see them coming. But that could have been that to be honest with you, my son's worst fear is losing me.
Yeah.
He and because I stay gone so much, I can't. You don't see those things coming. So protect yourself, stay safe, protect yourself, and make sure your family's taken care of if something does happen.
Okay.
So I try to connect with people on that level, like It's a personal thing. Everyone has to deal with it. Everyone has their version of it. But after I get through telling my story, I try to connect with them on the level of if I don't have this conversation with you, then it's worse off.
Okay.
I don't focus on scaring you about talking about death. I focus on that's a person that I could have helped.
We'll be right back. Swiss Money Radio, right here on WDRB Media. I'm your host, LJ Shepard. Got some more to come.